Mapaputsi came up with the Migos flow. That flow comes from Mapaputsi.
Actually, I'd like to retract my statement. I lied. This song sounds awesome with Samthing Soweto's vocals. And yes, I do agree that it can still be a song without his vocals, but it won't be a hit song as it is with his vocals. We need him on that song. His vocals have been removed.
While that whole entire Christmas thing was going out, Upori, waslimaza, walikima babo.
Oh.
Upori was like, I know, Ingutu, yeah, it's a nice song. Ingutu is the one he made.
Yeah.
Ulikele ngoma yenziwe umako.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
He's not benefiting out of this, man.
and even then, I didn't turn against Upori or anything else because I understood the way in which we were working. Number one, I was working in his studio at his house. His girlfriend at the time was cooking us meals. We had breakfast every morning. So I watched this man sacrifice his relationship.
Bro.
Just to help.
He would have ninjas in his house.
Spanning in
And then
Fana.
sometimes you think, like, how does this man maintain a relationship
With
all
any
these
woman?
Ninjas are here every night.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sacrifices
Slalada,
so much.
Vugada, Skezelada. We sharing a bathroom with his lady, his significant other. She's cooking for all of us. We don't respect Pori enough. And that's why you saw that live. That live is like the frustration of just being disrespected. Imzans.
On the 200 bars, Big Zulu, NOTA has just been immortalized. He's on many rap lyrics. But when I heard that, for me, I don't care. I'm like, oh, my goat has just been immortalized.
Yeah,
That's
no.
dope.
I think I'm also on the A Reese one, but I think
The
he
A-Reese
said
album?
something about authority.
On
and I
which
was like,
song?
oh.
Thank you very much for tuning in once again, guys. We appreciate you. Don't mind me wearing a blazer and a white shirt. I'm from Mapaputsi's funeral. May so rest in peace, Sandile Ngwenya Siyabonga Mfowethu ngomsebenzi omuhle for all these years. Your greatness, your lyricism in Kwaito. You're a pioneer. You were a legend. You're an incredible human being. You had a great sense of humor. If you didn't know him, Musandile was a very, very funny guy. Wherever he was, bekathanda ukugwerana, bekathanda ukulanzana, behlala silaga, sihleka. May his soul rest in peace. Crazy. Yesterday was his heavenly birthday. He would have been 56 today. Kabzela. Isaac Fanakaba. Lala ngoxolo butwami. Thank you for the opportunities. Thank you for entertaining Gauteng. Thank you for the incredible work that you did on radio. You're an icon. You introduced us to Mapaputsi. You introduced TK to Mapaputsi, who went on to become our business partner. We started TS Records together. And TK helped Mapaputsi put together that album, Eyezinja. And then he introduced Mapaputsi to Ulans. And the rest is history. But to cut the long story short, Mapaputsi introduced TK and myself to Brown Dash. Siphiwe Mpamile, may your soul rest in peace too. Siyakhula bafethi, iminyaka iyahamba, abantu siyalahlekelwa, abantu bayahamba. So asiphatheni kahle, and just waking up in the morning and breathing, you want to appreciate the fact that you're alive. Everything else is just a bonus. So the funeral was great. I just want to thank all the Sowetans. They came out. The whole of Soweto was there. It was a packed funeral. It was as if it was a state funeral. And the whole industry came out. So thank you to the whole industry, all the artists, the creative, the arts, the sports, everyone came out. And it was nice also to get an apology from Minister Gatekeeping MacG, who sent in a representative. I also saw former Gauteng mayor.
Yeah, apologize because
where
was he? He was in Russia still.
I don't know. I think he's still in Russia.
Yeah.
But anyway,
promoting Amapiano.
Is promoting Mapiano?
Yeah.
Ah, that's dope.
There's one thing you forgot to add.
Yeah.
Mapaputsi came up with the Migos flow. That flow comes from Mapaputsi.
Oh!
Before there was Migos, he had that flow.
So Kabzela introduced Mapaputsi. Mapaputsi introduced me to Brown Dash. Mapaputsi also introduced me to Bricks.
Imagine.
Who I would later on work with him and we signed
And he
him under
also had
TS
that
Records.
same flow.
Yeah.
That flow. He's
When
the flow god.
The first time I heard Bricks flow on a language that we used to call, that is used by the miners. Fanagalo. You know Fanagalo,
Yeah, I
right?
know that.
And there's a history to that language. There's a history to that language.
I know.
And there's a reason why the miners used to speak is Fanagalo. Yeah. So Bricks, before he underband, he had to flow on that song Mapaputsi Elisa.
Lisa, yes.
You remember that song?
No, Lisa.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How are you doing? I missed you.
I miss you too, man. I miss you too, bro. But at least I've been able to catch up with you. The Hustlers Corner, the content, also the stuff that you've been doing on. You had Mesik Pakela.
Mama Miss. Yes, she was actually there.
Well,
also.
Don't age her. Don't age her. Don't age her.
Sis Miss. She was also Mapaputi's funeral. Yeah.
Because she's there for Sowetans all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
I'm a Sowetan, so I would know. She's been there for me whenever I've needed something or need to do something down there in that side of town. So with her, that interview that I watched, and I was lamenting. Before you did that interview, I was speaking at the Amapiano Summit, and they had Dichaba and some other guys from SABC, and I said,
Dichaba, that's my guy. Dichaba from SABC?
Yeah, Dichaba's my big brother practically.
Shout outs to Dichaba. We love you, bro.
With Dichaba, no specs. We're like...
Spectator!
You understand? Bosom buddies.
You cut the dreads, I put them on.
So you must understand that Udi Chaba has been part of the extended family friends since I was a baby. You understand? Yeah. Not to say that we've done anything, together to give me favor at SABC, but, he's always been a big brother and watching his career progress. And I was saying to them, we don't see Mama Messi Pakela's videos on SABC, like the music videos. And we're robbing those artists of royalties because that's the music that should be played. The kids of today don't know any of this stuff. When they listen to these new Amapiano tracks where they sample or they interpolate or they borrow from the old school stuff, they are being introduced to it for the first time in these new songs when they should know that from SABC or SABC 1 at least. SABC 1 should be playing classic music like VH1 plays classic music. Who else is going to play South African classic music if it's not for SABC? No one else is going to do it. No one else has an incentive to do it. And that's why, our legends like Messi Pakela are not being celebrated the way in which they should be. So I was very happy to see you interview her. I was also very happy to have her on a radio platform, because the radio platform is very different from podcasting. Tina, when we're speaking right now, no one is watching us, no one is seeing us. No one who's been affected by anything we've done in our lives can call in and say, listen, I know this is out of the topic that you guys are speaking about, but I met you at such and such a place, and this is the effect that you had on me, or you helped my cousin, you helped my brother. And when I heard the people that were calling in, even her first manager, the first DJ called in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because he was listening to the show. Yeah. And that just shows you the power of radio and the importance of the platform. I know that we speak about podcasting being the future and we promote it a lot. And we do that just out of competitive nature to say, okay, there's a new platform, it's exciting, it's going to kill radio. But we know that it's not going to kill radio. It can never kill radio. And those are the moments that show you why, radio will live on, because it's a real-time moment. The listeners are all tuned in, at the same time. We're all sharing that experience, that listening experience together. We're all being told the history of our heroes together. So, I've been very excited to see that a lot of your interviews are being posted up on YouTube as well, on your channel. And the ones that I miss, that I cannot listen to live, sometimes, when you're listening online, I don't like listening to radio in the car, so I listen online, and then there's adverts and everything else, and it's like, it gets a little bit too busy.
It does, especially on a morning show.
You know what I mean?
There's times when sometimes I miss just doing a music show.
Yeah,
not as busy as the morning show.
The morning show, you've
just
got
enjoy
news,
the music.
You've got traffic. You've got breaking news, updates. You've got political topics. You've got people calling in complaining that Aman's aware.
The bearer of bad news and announce the late great. I don't know if I call him great. Some people were mad at me for calling him great, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Former Minister Pravin Gordan, may
Yeah.
so rest in peace, that he passed on. You know, on radio you hear now, the SABC News confirms same time. You want to make sure you fact check, and then you announce it on air. And radio is immediate. Once it's out there, and then it's trending.
It is. You know what I mean? I remember the moment that Utata passed away, and I was in Durban for the Metro FM Music Awards launch at the Coastlands Hotel, and Brastone, I'll age him because he's great. He's great. Brastone, mara ikrotman lam lasekaslam song is always. So so he tapped us to the side and said, "Boys, come here to the side. I just want to tell you that Utata has passed away.
Yo.
But you guys get on stage and then you perform like nothing has happened, and then Sisunati will come back and do the announcement after you guys are done. We don't want to scare anyone, you know." And then while that whole entire moment was happening, I'm checking on Twitter if the news is out. So the news was out a bit on Twitter, and then our brother who sees Lomo was like, "No, I can confirm that this is not true." I was like thinking to myself, who am I gonna trust? Stone or Caesar? And I was like, in the end they confirmed it was true. So that just shows you it was a good thing that Caesar wasn't on radio at that point in time, because at least he would have learned that lesson, so that now that he's on radio, on a big platform, on a breakfast show, he can also deliver those news with the sensitivity that it deserves. And I understand the position that you were also put in, because controversial figures, you know how it is. You host me all the time, so sometimes you put me on your channel, people come at you, they call you, they say, "Yes, Buddha, why do you give a platform? Why do you platform this person?" You know what I mean? And so now for you, it's like, "Ish, I'm going to announce these news, and me announcing them, I need to be sensitive and be the same Busiso that my mother raised." You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the night before he passed away, I posted a tweet, and I was saying, like, we don't do this thing of when people are sick or we hear that someone is in hospital that we wish ill on them. Or, you understand? We don't do that.
It's un-African.
There's no Ubuntu in that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is that people think that now that we're in the internet age, that we need to forget our Ubuntu, our humanity, despite whatever controversy that the former minister, Pravin Gordan, might be embroiled in, you yourself, that is commenting and making those posts, you are above that. You understand what I'm saying? If you are saying that he is bad for any number of reasons, don't be worse. You know what I mean? And it's something that, I've also gotten angry and posted something that I've had to delete and regretted, and thought to myself, one day I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, do I stand behind these types of words? And I don't think anyone that said all of those nasty things when he was ill in those last moments will ever stand behind those words in the passage of maybe a year, 2 years, even 10 years. You know what I mean? And so it's regrettable to see that. And it's also sad that, we don't have people calling that sort of behavior out. We've got freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. You can remember him however you want to remember him. We're not dictating to people what they can and cannot say, but there is a certain level of sensitivity. And then also, when you see someone that's on a radio platform, my mother is going to call me immediately if she hears you saying something bad about someone who's just passed away. I'm just saying. So if you are now swayed by those people that are saying all these negative things, and you give I'm going to get a call from my mother.
Exactly. I was already called out this week for making fun of Amy Winehouse. Because we've got a battle of artists. And I think we're battling with Rihanna. And then I was like, no, I'm voting for Rihanna. Nah, Amy Winehouse, whatever I said.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Yo, bro.
No, but I still choose Amy Winehouse.
I had to come back and apologize. And also remember that she has passed.
Yes.
But also on Radio Out Alive, it's immediate. People let you know now how they feel.
You understand?
And they're like, yo, bro.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
And I had to apologize.
No, Amy Winehouse is a generational talent. I mean, vocally speaking, Rihanna is nowhere near what Amy Winehouse was, just as someone who made music. And also, it's just a sad story about how her life, spiraled into, substance addiction, and the sickness got to her before any relief or recovery, could salvage the situation. And, she went out as well in a very tragic manner, and a very lonely manner as well. And so when you're reporting on deaths, as you end up doing on a platform like radio, you need to be sensitive about that. And I'd like to commend you for the way in which you've done that. I know that you take the flack and you don't mind it.
I'm used to
No,
it.
you
It's
you
okay.
have to humble yourself.
It's
I've learned that from you. That's also one of the things that you've taught me just by observation over the many years that I've been observing you. So it's like when did I first meet you? Probably 2003, right? Or around that time.
Around that time.
Yeah, 2003, 2002.
Over 20 years, guys. Over 20 years. So when you come here and comment and say, hey, Nota, it's like I've known him before you were born. Like, some of you guys.
Yeah. I was 12 or 13 back then. So, just by observing how humble you were, like as a 12 or 13-year-old, obviously, Sibonu hamba nge-Porsche, so we're going to run up to your car. And you know what I mean? It didn't matter what you were doing. You were busy with your own things, but you took the time. And observing you over the years, as like, you know what, if ever I find myself in a position of influence where people look to me or come to me or everything, I will never make them feel like I don't have time for them. Even if I don't. You know what I mean? Even if I don't, I just will humble myself and say, whatever inconvenience it is to deal with this human being right now, it's not like it's a permanent thing, and that's what I learned from observing you, is that, you give people that energy, you give them the love, and then you work away. And, I had to come to terms with that when observing you going through hardships and difficulties, which I was aware of, but maybe other people are not aware of, right? And looking at you and be like, House Buddha, even when you're going through whatever you're going through, you still give people a smile. You know what I mean? I've never ever seen someone say, yeah, Usbuda, yo, ngamthola nge birthday, and, wang tuga. Like, I've never seen something like that. You know what I mean?
I get you.
And those are the things that, discipline you as a person. It's like, you know what? If Sbuda were to see me now mishandling the fact that people know me and look to me for some sort of guidance or leadership, he'd be really disappointed. And he'd regret that he gave me opportunities to be in this position, in the past, because I'm misusing it. So that's a thing that I take very, very seriously, even though it annoys me a lot of times. Sometimes I'm like, damn it, I wish.
Sometimes I see you pulling that card on Twitter.
Yeah.
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 Nota, don't shoot, don't
Yeah.
shoot. Nota, don't shoot.
No, but Twitter is a different thing. I went to Hammanskral now, no dilas, just like a Dr. Malinga.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, him and Mashab.
Yeah, go skral, go temba.
Yeah, and I was
Go
speaking
no ndaso.
to,
Shapo be mense ba go skral re bo botle.
yeah, so we were at Sibotoma Hall, and it's something that I do a lot of. Like, I give a lot of my time to organizations that want to spread knowledge about, our cultural industry, the music industry. And for me, I feel like it's my duty. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times where they've asked me, yo, please send us an invoice. We want to know how much you charge for. And I've never been able to bring myself to do that. You know what I mean? I'd rather say,
But why do you do that, bro?
You
are irritating, Nota. I don't understand how many times in my life I'm always like, yo, Nota. And Nota doesn't want the money. I don't know why, bro. Why, though?
like.
But you can't keep on dishing out your intelligence, your presence, your amazing self at no cost, bro. You can't.
Well,
bro.
I mean, if it's for a corporation, a business, I don't mind charging them, And I've been like that.
But all of us, bro. You know how much all these checks are that you've been saying no to, bro?
My checks are signed by God. That's what I believe. And I feel like my duty to give back, will be repaid long after I'm gone. One day I'll leave grandchildren in this world, and my grandchildren will be treated better because they'll say that your grandfather did all of this for us. So, that's how I benefit as well. When I walk through the streets of Lenasia, I walk into shops, they give me free cashew nuts. They give me because my father didn't listen to my mother when he was undercharging his customers that side, and I benefit from that. So it's difficult for me to bring myself to sharing knowledge and then making people pay for it. I rather extract value in other ways or in other means or through products. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm spending a lot of my time refining products, but it's very difficult. The space that you guys are in and that you guys are endeavoring in is very difficult. And I see myself as a smart guy.
You're very smart.
So if I'm being smart,
you're extremely intelligent,
Yeah,
and you
so-
know that you're very intelligent.
So when I'm smart about it, I say, "Ish, yazin, let me rather watch ukuthi abosibula babashaya kanjani." And then once I've seen ukuthi babashaya kanjani, then ngizothola i-double up and avoid all the struggles that you guys are facing. Because the retail business, the product business is very tough. We're seeing now, because I've been doing my own grocery shopping for the longest time now, I realized that at Pick and Pay, they don't sell the full quantity. I don't even know what quantity do eggs come in. They come in 72.
Yeah, they come in 12. They come in
the big one.
24. They come in 48.
The big one.
They also do come in 72.
Yeah, 60s or whatever. All of those ones. You can only get
96, I think.
Jumbo eggs. You can only get them in 18s at Pick and Pay.
There's free range and there's others as well.
But the jumbo size, you know what I mean? The one that
Yeah.
you can make an omelette with 2 eggs.
Yeah.
That's no longer. Now you need to use 3 eggs to make an omelette. You know what I mean? And I stay with my nephew. Diamond, force line. I'm like, yo. So now that we've got these small anyana eggs, our eggs are just finishing at a rate of knots. The quantity, the shrinkflation that's happening, and it's only few ethical business people that are still selling there. I mean, more fire you can get it at some retailers for 10 rand or less.
Yeah, you still get it for less. So if you're buying a case at a wholesale, you're getting it for roughly 7 rand per can.
Yeah.
And then you can sell it at 10 rand per can or 12 rand per can. It's up, or 15 rand per can. It's up to you.
Yeah, but a lot of the retailers sell it at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
But that's because of the ethics of the owners of the distribution company and the company that's sending it to retailers. These other guys are price gouging. You know what I mean? So they're selling the jumbo size eggs at a higher price. They're selling the large eggs, which are actually small, but they're large eggs at a higher price in the higher quantities, so you're getting less for more and more money. And the cost of living crisis is really biting, It's just something I noticed. It's like why do these grocery stores even have big trolleys? I haven't seen anyone filling their trolley. Back when I was a kid, back when I was a kid, my mother would take us to Pick and Pay
Grocery shopping.
with her.
We used to fill up a trolley. I remember per month, 1,500 used to last us for the whole month. And sometimes it would be a trolley and a half.
You understand what I'm saying?
1.5.
So Mina, I would push the trolley with my little brother in it. You know what I mean? My mother would be pushing the other trolley. We'd take 2 trolleys worth of groceries home. I haven't seen...
For like next to nothing. But right now, bro...
The trolleys are toys now. It's to put your child inside and while you're shopping.
I know, because even the little that you shop is already more than 3 grand.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at this crisis, and now they're saying, oh no, Pick and Pay retailers, some of them are closing, and for me it's like we're so worried about like the corporations, the brands. What does it say that Pick and Pay is struggling to get customers about the state of our economy? What does it say when you walk into a grocery store and you're seeing people with empty trolleys? We're standing in a line, you know what I mean? And you're thinking to yourself, but these are baskets worth of goods. This person should not be standing in this line. Manje, say queue in manje, because everyone's got a trolley just out of habit or out of convenience. A basket can be sometimes heavy, you know? And you know what makes a basket heavy? When you're price checking. Makes the basket very heavy because you're checking the price with eating, and now you're holding the basket for so long. That makes the basket very heavy. It becomes very heavy. It's straining your hands.
You're checking the prices and you're calculating, and you're even there for longer, and then obviously becomes heavy.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that I'm just observing. Just, maybe sometimes I got too much time. But I'm just observing these things while I'm buying groceries. I'm seeing a lot more men buying groceries, right? So which means that, okay, agna mami kaya for a lot of us. So a lot of us are single now, okay, or shopping for ourselves or by ourselves. You understand? Which means that we're struggling to maintain households. We're struggling to ensure that uno mame kaya. You know what I mean? It's bad. Really, really bad. Right now, the way in which our economy is just terrible. I get my electricity from Eskom, and we're all on prepaid. Even my parents are on prepaid. My parents are on City Power. My parents have to pay an extra 200 Rand when they get their electricity because that's part of the service fee. Now I'm just thinking, okay, my parents, they're in a fine position. They can afford themselves. But I'm just thinking about how many other parents, their kids are the ones that are buying them electricity. They can't even afford the electricity. And now their kids have to spend an extra 200 for electricity that their parents won't use. A lot of parents are pensioners, but they haven't registered as pensioners at the municipality, so they're not getting the discounts that pensioners get on certain things that they should be paying. Like, if you're a pensioner and a property owner, you don't pay certain rates, and that's why this thing of trying to steal your grandmother's house is a bad idea.
Hey, bro.
It's best to keep it in her name. At least you won't have to pay rates. So, our country is really in dire straits. It's in dire straits. And so I say all of that to say this, I understand the anger that people have, and that's why they're saying things that are out of character. That's why they're wishing death on people and all of these things, because they don't have an outlet for their frustrations. No one is hearing them,
Bro.
Now when you observe all of these things,
Sure.
you actually understand where that behavior is coming from. So I'm not condemning them for what they're doing, but I'm just appealing to people that they must consider their own humanity, and not when you're in a hole, you have to stop digging. You know what I mean? And lashing out and just being angry at the world, being a vile person, won't improve your situation. In fact, it'll make it even harder to improve your situation, because now you identify with the despair that you are obsessing over. You put yourself in a state of depression because you're always constantly thinking about how bad things are. And things are bad. But in and amongst all this bad stuff that's happening, there's green shoots of hope. There's good things that are happening to people,
Let me come in there and say rest in peace to the Michaels family. Mr. Darlington Michaels left us. We just heard this morning. Papa G.
Ish.
He brought us up. May so rest in peace. Sorry to disturb you, bro.
And he's such an influential actor. I was watching Piano Love, Mandla N's new movie.
Dope movie, bro.
Dope movie.
Incredible
Do you know
work.
they shot it in 8 days?
Oh, I don't know. They shot it in 8 days.
With a very small budget.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful movie.
Just considering now,
Sure.
Can you see how amazing it is?
Yeah.
So I hope people go out and support that movie.
Go check out Piano Love. Go check out Savage Beauty. Go check out
Savage Beauty
Losing Lerato and
Yeah.
Losing Lerato 2.
Yeah.
Beautiful South African movies.
Okay, so let me tell you the difference between those movies and Piano Love. Piano Love is self-funded. It's licensed to Netflix, so it wasn't funded by Netflix. It's licensed to Netflix for 3 years. You know, I know all of this about this movie because one of the artists I used to work with is the lead in the movie. So
Oh, Cuesta, yeah,
so
yeah.
so obviously
Big up
I'll
to
get
Senzo,
the
he killed it.
yeah
He killed
yeah
it.
no he
Well
killed
done,
it yeah
killed
so
it.
yeah I was very
Oh,
I was
big
very
up to Sis Buntle. Thank you. Incredible work.
no, her performance
She's
was amazing.
amazing.
No,
She was
her
amazing.
performance was amazing. I mean, last time
She
I was
was
with
amazing.
you, you were interviewing her.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah. No, her performance was amazing. Like it really, like she really stood out in that whole entire film. Usenzo needs to do a little bit more work on his craft, but I mean, I'm
Ah,
glad.
come on, but he killed it, bro.
No,
Oh, you
no,
saying he can do
he-
better?
I know he can
Okay,
do
I
better.
get you.
I know he can do better because I mean we had this.
But for me, for his acting, that was his debut, right? Acting debut.
Yeah, it's well,
his
he's done
debut,
some
bro.
cameo roles. No, but let me put it to you like this, ne? He's done some cameo roles. So Mandla N has been trying to get him to do acting for a long time.
I could tell there. Guti Mandla N convinced Questa to act.
No, he's been wanting to do that. So
Nah,
I stopped it in the
He
beginning.
did a great job, bro.
I stopped it in the beginning and I said no.
So those opportunities were already coming when you were still managing him.
Well, when he was still at my label.
So he never acted back then. He never.
I stopped him. I cancelled all of them
Why?
because I wanted him to act in a movie. And I said, when you call this guy and you want him to act, it better be a movie script. I don't want him to act in a series because he's currently in the middle of his music career. And it's going to take him away from, the focus on the music, and also it's going to diminish his brand. I don't want his brand to be reduced to just someone you can watch on TV for free. With a 21 Rand a month TV license. I want him to be someone that you... I'm serious. These are important considerations that,
No, but I get you,
that you need to maintain the brand. I mean, like, they just released a new single. He just released a new single where he's featured with another artist. And that single is blowing up, right? And then
Whose track is it?
I'll be able to tell you right now. So they released this new single, and then I checked that Ingodu nayo, the streams have increased by 1,719% just because of this new single that pops off. So for me and the business that we do together, it would be very bad for anything that would diminish the brand value. You know what I mean? That's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that I put into putting the brand at the stage that I left it. You know what I mean? I don't want him to be embroiled in things that will reduce what we've worked on together. You know what I mean? Whatever he does now needs to go over and above what we've been able to achieve, so that what we've been able to achieve is also seen in the right sort of light. You know what I mean? We don't want anything that would, reverse what we did, because there was a lot of sacrifice that went into achieving that. So this new single, I'd need to search for it, but it's a new artist, right? I'll tell you who it is. The song is called All My Life. And because of it, because of it, Ingodu has seen a significant increase in the streams. The song on Apple Music alone has gotten over 300,000 streams in 1 week, in the past week, and the song was sitting in the top 10 before Figu Aries.
Shout out to Aries.
It was sitting in the top 10.
Being a slime.
Shout
Shout out to the new release. I haven't listened to the entire thing. I'm only on my first song. Shout out to Mass Music.
I listened to it three
times.
There's
been a controversy around Mass Music, Samthing Soweto, Pori, and just ownership and masters and contribution. But I love these conversations because they pose as a teachable moment for the new generation as far as the music industry is concerned.
Yeah.
But big up to all of you guys. Like, sort out your differences, because that Amalanga or Funny track is too dope.
Yeah,
like,
but
some people
they've taken it down. They've taken it down.
And I know. And I was one of the people that was saying this song is so nice with or without the vocals. I got something so way too. And then a day later, after I listened to the song more than 5 times, I came back and I said, actually, I'd like to retract my statement. I lied. This song sounds awesome with Samthing Soweto's vocals. And yes, I do agree that it can still be a song without his vocals, but it won't be a hit song as it is with his vocals. We need him on that song. And then 2 or 3 or 4 days ago, sometime this week, Well, yesterday the album came out, Mass Music. And then I go through the album and then I go to the Amalanga Our Fun track. His vocals have been removed.
Yeah, well,
I'm
but
like, why didn't you guys sort out your differences and still have something Soweto on that song? Because that's a song for summer. Like, come on. Pori, come on,
But
bruh.
hold on, I just want to say, Ipiano doesn't need the streaming platforms. That song is out. About DJ, bayaz with Penson. So,
Do you think it was a strategy from Pori?
like, either way, they know. About DJ,
there's a part during his rant where he said, "Why King?" Nale pissed off, of course. I'm a Pori fan.
Mara,
big
let's
time
go
Pori
cancel
fan.
mass music.
Yes, I know that, but I wanted
Oh,
to
sorry,
say
I wanted
this
to
part.
say Mawele.
Let me
and
finish this
Questa.
part.
Yeah, that's the song.
Where he said,
All my life.
damn it, I lost my train of thought. It's
No,
okay,
no,
continue.
Why is it king?
It was Pori saying, I forgot. It's okay, continue.
We held you down. Not we held
No,
you
not
down.
that part. Hey, he said a lot of things. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's
the song
okay.
that I was talking about was
Pori, we love you, bro. I love Pori.
Mawelele. So, I mean, I was just sad that the whole entire thing really put a spanner in the works for mass music's rollout, because I think that that album could have been number one ahead of A. Reese's album, you know. But A. Reese has got that cult following, you know, and he's dominating the
And
charts.
I'm one of them. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of Aries.
You know,
bro.
it's like
So talking about Aries, shout out to my boys performing at the upcoming 2024 excuse me, 2024 Back to the City in Joburg. Kane Kid, proud of you, bro. I saw him, he's on the lineup. Dope lineup, by the way.
Oh, I haven't
for the
seen all of it.
2024
I saw the
Back to the
DJs.
City.
They launched the DJs.
Dope
first.
lineup as well for the Delicious Fest that's happening. It's about to be a great summer.
Oh yeah, Benny the Butcher is the one, the international artist that I saw is coming, and then I saw the DJ lineup, and I think it's had a lot of women DJs
Cosmo is in there.
Yeah, a whole lot of so I mean
Kane Kid is in there.
going back to these rollouts.
Casper is in there.
I've
I saw
never-
Tebe even Back to the City, bro. Like
Nice.
I think there's a heritage where they're paying homage to the OGs, and I saw Tebe's name there.
No,
This
it's a
is on
good
Back
thing.
to the City. I'm like, that's beautiful.
It's a good thing that they've matured beyond the hatred of Kwaito that they used to have in a misguided fashion. But that was because it was the competitive nature. So such a Abantuana, you know, we're in this camp, you're in this camp, and it's like this. But now that we are in influential positions where the younger generation are looking up to us, those beefs that we had when we were coming up, they don't help the entire culture as a whole going forward, and we need to be able to mature to a point where we can appreciate each other's contributions. Like the hip-hop community should be able to embrace a legend like Mapaputsi, you know what I mean? Because without Mapaputsi and that flow, there would be no Karakara, KO, you understand? Because that's that same flow, you know.
Too much. Shout outs to Dusty C and KO. I know
Yeah.
you've had your differences with KO before, but
Yeah.
you gotta give it up to Too Much, bro. That's a dope track.
I don't think I've heard the song.
That's a dope track.
No, is it that
Too
one?
Much.
Is that
no, not the new one that came out yesterday.
No, there was one where there was another artist
It
that
came
said
out
it
3
had a
weeks
similar
ago.
beat.
Too Much. Nasty C and KO. Come on.
No,
Nota.
I didn't. I saw the news. There was a news article about a new track that sounds similar to another track.
Nota, I know you've had differences
No,
with KO, but
I
you can't not know
haven't
too
listened-
much.
I haven't
It's
listened
on
to the
over
song.
1 million views, bro. Everybody knows that track. Like, you guys
Music
know Too
video,
Much, right?
Does it have a music video?
It's got a music
I
video.
don't watch music videos.
The music video, they shot it at MacG's Podcast and Chill Studios.
Oh, yeah, I saw the snippets. I saw the promotion. I haven't listened to the track.
Okay.
I haven't
Dope
gotten
track.
to
You must
it.
listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ish, you know, also Apple Music also makes me suffer because these songs are not on latest songs. You know, Mina, I wake up on a Friday, ne, at like maybe 4 a.m. and I listen to all the new music that's dropped, that's promoted. You know what I mean? And then I search for certain songs that are not trending. After that, like I dedicate a lot of my time. So a lot of people have been watching my tweets on Fridays and been like, "Hey man, why are you always commenting about music?" I'm just giving my honest reviews of music, and I checked out the Usmamane album.
Yeah, it's my man, yeah.
Yeah, you know, when MT was coming out with Avery, I got to listen to Avery,
Yeah.
and then I called Sony. I said, "Please, let's postpone Dakar 2 to the next year,"
Because you knew, right?
because I heard.
It's like when Jigga was telling the whole of Rockefeller that 50
50
Cent
is
is coming. yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like Avery came through. I think he won 2 or 3 summers that year. That smallanyana decision is the reason why there was no MT to compete against when Questa won 6 summers.
Oh, I get you. was strategic, right?
Very strategic. You know what I mean? Very strategic. And especially because it was a disappointment to a lot of the fans who were like, oh, but you guys promised us that 25 November, this album is coming out. You know what I mean? And on the 27th of November, Avery came out. We delayed the release of Dakar 2. We did a soft release because we released disc 1 on Christmas Day. As in, okay, we apologize.
Yeah.
Give you disc 1 on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But the full release, which is the second disc and everything else with all the big songs like Ngutu, etc., that came after that. And even prior to that whole entire thing, right, while that whole entire Christmas thing was going out, Upori waslimaza walikima babo.
Oh.
Upori was like, I know Ngutu, yeah, it's a nice song. Ngutu is the one he made.
Yeah.
Ulikele ngoma yenziwe umakho.
Yeah.
So
Maibabo, yeah.
But
he's not benefiting out of this, Mostan. Why would
well,
he
he's
care?
featured on My Babo.
He's featured,
but
I
he likes
understand,
that
but
song.
Yeah, because the song that will make him the most
The
money.
song that
goes
he
to
cooked.
Yeah.
The song that he cooked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a chef that doesn't like their own food, that likes another chef's cooking. And I couldn't understand. I remember on the phone with Bore, but I'm like, but why? Like, but guys, no, this is a good song. No, My Babo is the one.
Bore is a genius, bro. Bore is a genius.
Keeper Wailika. Luckily, we could call Sony to like put like content ID on it, so that anyone else who would share it after that, it would be taken down. And then Ngutu was released, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, no, sorry guys, yeah, no, my mistake."
But was there there a reason for you? Like this past week, when this controversy was happening for the past 2 weeks, you came out and said, I'm siding with Pore on this one. What was the reason of you siding with... Okay, finish your point and let's get into that one.
Yeah, but I'll explain to you why. So I'm saying that I've experienced Pore just surprising you. You know what I mean? Within my own business. And even then, I didn't turn against Upori or anything else because I understood the way in which we were working. Number one, I was working in his studio, at his house. His girlfriend at the time was cooking us meals. We had breakfast every morning. You understand? We had lunch with Howard.
It wasn't Howard cooking at that time.
No, Howard was cooking. You know,
shout out to Howard. Miss you, bro.
His girlfriend at the time was working, so she'd come back and cook supper.
Yeah.
Ahamba yolala.
Yeah.
And Upori would not go to sleep at all.
That man doesn't sleep. Pori.
You understand what I'm saying? So I watched this man sacrifice his relationship.
Bro.
Just to help.
He would have ninjas in his house.
And
then sometimes you think, like, how does this man maintain a relationship
with any woman?
Ninjas are here every night.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like, not even that they're just here mkhambe ngama weekend. They're there like almost every night. Like, he sacrifices so much.
Vugada. Skezelada. We sharing a bathroom with his lady, his significant other. She's cooking for all of us. With a smile. You understand what I'm saying? So now, I must now get angry that this guy leaked my song. You understand what I'm saying? I treat it with a different type of sensitivity. I call him. And then I listen to him, he expresses himself. And then I say, okay, but Bori, that wasn't part of our plan and part of our strategy. So we need to, take it down. You know what I mean? I didn't now fight and now it's a beef. Oh, he leaked our song. He messed up our whole entire rollout or whatever the case may be. And we didn't pay him a cent for any of that work. Not a cent. And even that song, because it's sampled, 100% of the publishing is going to the original composers.
I've done over 5 tracks with Pore. I've never paid him a cent.
You understand what I'm saying?
Doesn't even ask for it. We credit each other properly, but he never asked for a cent.
So, and he's done that for many other people.
From back in the day, even way before Abo Waichukucha, way before Abo Uhuru.
You understand what I'm saying?
Pore has been at it, bro.
Been giving us. You know what I mean? So, that's why I was like, nah, like, I understand that, the fan base of Samthing Soweto is also a pro-feminist fan base, because he's made music that is very much pro-feminist, so I understand that
there's
a sense of entitlement that as dope as he is, we need to understand that Pori is different. Pori is different though.
That song needs something Soweto. No, Pori, come on, guys.
So Pori is different.
So they have to release that song separate with the Something Soweto vocals on it.
They did.
No, because the current version on Mass Music's album,
No, they did. They
Something
released the
Soweto's
single.
vocals are out.
I know, but they released the single.
Or separate.
No, they already released the single with Something
No,
Soweto on.
it's just on YouTube. It's unofficial.
No, it was on Apple Music. It was on number
is
one
it
on
me-
the chart.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it was number. It only got
okay.
removed on Friday.
Oh, okay.
It only got removed on Friday, but people have already bought it.
Oh,
if you
okay.
bought it on iTunes, you've got it.
Oh, okay.
You've downloaded it. People
Okay.
bought it. People downloaded it.
Oh,
People
that's
have
dope.
it. You know what I mean?
That's dope, yeah.
So apart from it, they made it available
There's
for
a
long
guy
enough.
called, is it T-Star Quality or something? T-Quality. Oh. Anyway.
It's
Mass
a
Music, dope. I haven't listened to the whole album. I've listened to about maybe half of the album, 5 or 6 tracks.
Yeah, Melu's niggas
Pori
card.
knows how to Barking recognize talent
Yes.
and like
Yes.
groom the talent.
Mass Music was
is
there.
amazing, bro.
Mass Music was there since day one.
Mass Music's got over I think almost a million monthly listeners on Spotify.
But apart from that, every one of his albums has been amazing. Every one of his albums, every single one of them, and it has not been the hyped album, but it's the album that if you play, you just play it and you don't need to play anything else. You can play it on repeat over and over again. I mean, the work that he's also been doing with Imos as well, the guy from M20.
Shout out to Amos, yeah, in Dona Sekaslam.
Yeah.
Too dope. We've
Yeah.
had him on the platform. Too dope.
Yeah, Utibos.
Too dope. Yeah, Amos, proud
Yeah.
of you, bro.
Yeah.
And Amos is also strict with his sound. I've sent Amos maybe 4 different beats. And I like the fact that it's not like, hey, man, manje mele ngilahlele. Listen to the 4 beats, send the first one. He said, send, let's collaborate. Send. It's like, nah, I don't like it. Send another one, nah, I don't like it. Send another, even the beat that ended up becoming I'll Be There, the deep house track that I did last year.
Yeah, I
like,
remember
nah, I
that.
don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I like artists who stand their ground and they know what
And
they
they tell
want
you
and
straight
what
up.
they do not want.
Yeah.
And I'm still looking forward to the day I collaborate with Amos. Too dope. Amazing vocalist.
Yeah.
Amazing musician.
So going back to Pori, so it's like we don't respect Pori enough. And that's why you saw that live. That live is like the frustration of just being disrespected, Imzans. And, you know, I say this to Pori all the time. Like, Pori, I've been texting him for over a year. I say, Chief, you need to leave SA. And it goes back to the conversation that we have. Because of the condition of our country right now, the people are not in the spirit to appreciate anything good. They're just not in the spirit, you know. And to expect that of them is asking too much, unfortunately, right now, you know. So he needs to ply his trade at a place where he'll be appreciated, you know, abroad, specifically the United States, and second to that, number 2, Brazil, you know, because those are the 2 countries with the highest black population. I mean, Brazil has got the highest black population outside of Africa. It's got the second highest black population in the world, you know, second highest population behind Nigeria. The United States has got 40 million black people there, so there's enough of a base to build from in those countries. Countries like the UK, I know they go there all the time, shut down Louis Vuitton. There's only 5 million blacks there, unfortunately. You know what I mean? There's less blacks in the UK than there are in Jews. So it just doesn't make sense. With UK, they're just using them to fill up those smaller nyana D-list clubs. They're not even at the top venues in the UK, unfortunately. You know what I mean? The rest of Europe is the same thing as well. They're using this new hype Amapiano thing, and then they're paying them minimum that they can pay them, because they're not charging what Deadmau5 is charging. They're not charging what Steve Aoki is charging. You know, all of those other EDM greats are charging. So South African DJs have become the budget DJs, and we've got the best DJ culture in the world. You know, everyone is a connoisseur of well-played music and mixology in South Africa. I don't care if umahlalela uyayazi gosh, uyayazi mix, uyayazi yash, umahlalela, because he knows that ekaslake a weekend or a car wash, a top DJ is gonna play, and umahlalela will stand up when that DJ is playing yash. I'm jailed with Iwan.
That's what I love about South Africa. Even me, when I play yash, they tell me, no, man, that set was kak. You
understand?
That's what I love about South
But
Africa.
overseas, in fact, they don't know better. They don't know better. So our DJ culture is something that we need to protect as an asset. You know what I mean? It's an asset. Your old-time business partner was saying that we need to promote the performing artists a lot more, right? Because it can't be that the biggest artists in Amapiano are the DJs, right? And I agree with them, but also at the same time, I'm like, we shouldn't take that
Are you
too
talking
far.
about TK?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
where did you say that?
At the Amapiano Summit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, no,
I
no, you
remember
were
you
saying
told
that.
me you were speaking
Yes,
there.
yeah,
I know
you
you
were
were
speaking.
there,
Yeah. So we shouldn't take it too far. We should understand that we're in a transitional phase where we're getting used to producers being prominent. It's never happened anywhere else in the world, where the actual real composers of the music are the ones that are at the forefront of a genre, right?
But it happens in the States a lot of the
Where?
time. Kanye, RZA.
He's not at the forefront. RZA's not at the forefront.
But RZA has always been.
Yes, I'm talking about in general. Where
okay.
in South Africa, it's a general thing.
Okay.
Baningi.
I get you.
You can name a
I get
handful,
what
the
you're saying. I
Kanyes,
get what you're saying.
the RZAs, the Swiss Beats, you
I
know what I
get
mean?
what you're saying.
But those guys had to end up getting on stage and grabbing a mic.
Dr. Dre's.
You know what I mean? But RZA
I
also
get you.
also had a mic from the Wu-Tang days. You know what I mean? So it's completely different. When hip hop started, it was the DJs, right, that led the movement, right? When hip hop started in the Bronx in 1973, whatever, 51 years ago, right? From then on, it was them who led the movement. In Jamaica, the MC is actually the selector. You know, the DJ is the guy who raps. If you're a rapper, they call you DJ. You know what I mean? In Jamaica. So the inverse of that happened, and the culture blew up from the States because of how big the market is in the States as well. That basically formatted how we receive music in the rest of the world. And then it reverted back to what was already established and traditional within the American music market, which is that the performers are the ones that take precedence. You know what I mean? You know Elvis Presley, but you don't know who made the music that Elvis Presley is singing to. You know what I mean? And I could make other examples, but I'd rather use him because he was known as the king, right? So here.
And we all know the real king was Michael Jackson. Anyway, and he still remains.
Yeah, understand.
Can't make that mistake. Yeah. We all know.
Yeah. So when you move to the stage that we're in right now, right? It's impossible to create an Elvis Presley because the culture is being gatekept by its originators.
The culture is being gatekept by its originators. What do you mean?
As in, Elvis Presley stole black music.
Yeah.
And then he was able to perform it, and he became the king.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't do that with this within this music. Let's look. Who can I use as an example? You can't have an Eminem of Amapiano. You can't have a J something of Amapiano. You can't have a Danny K of Amapiano. Ipiano, elasikas. The people that are at the forefront, that are gatekeeping it, abantu basikas, and they're keeping it in its Kasi vibe. And that's very important. And as a suburban raised kid, you know, I see myself as different because I'm always for the authentic Kasi pioneers being the ones that are at the forefront. You know what I mean? I don't like it when people from like my environment are able to go to the hood, listen to what those kids are doing, and then go and chop it in their high-class studios and then beat them to the market. I don't like that. So because our music is being gatekept by the people that are actually making the music from their bedroom studios or from the origins, right? It means that we've got a deeper well. It means that you can open up space for the melody and sleazies to come in, because there isn't a Beyonce of piano who is so dominating that anything else, you know, is in her shadow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as great and as big as Mahu is, she still leaves room for you to listen to Nia Pearl. She still leaves room for you to listen to Mashudu. She still leaves room for you to listen to any of these other amazing vocalists, because the vocalists are not the center. The vocalists are bringing in their touch and their sound and their songwriting and their performance, right? But the people that are at the center are the people that are the ones that are creating the sound, the actual music. And those are the stars of the show. So as much as we try to elevate the performance value, right, we shouldn't do it at the expense of what we've gotten right, which the rest of the world has not gotten right. We shouldn't do that at that expense. We should up the production value. I mean, I saw what's this the videos of Scorpion Kings performing at Joburg Day. Now, 10 years ago, you'd know.
Joburg Debe go yabelo.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
From when it started.
But 10 years ago.
It's like even abo Opi Kopi. Those events used to be like my event wabelo.
So 10 years ago, right? Thank you for mentioning Opi Kopi, because this is a brilliant story. 10 years ago, I wrote an open letter to 5FM, right? And I signed it to Questa. I made him write it on my behalf. So I made him the face of it. And at the same time, we also had a collaboration with Crash Car Burn, you know, a pop rock group, white guys as well, white South Africans, but proud South Africans as well. So I knew that, okay, we've got a song that's going to play. And then the open letter was about them not playlisting Doc Shebele's Casper Nyovest track. So, like, we killed many birds with one stone. Number one, you're coming out at calling out the racism at 5FM at the time, you know, because there was a bias against black artists.
Yeah.
And because of also the importance of 5FM commercially, it was the most valuable commercial station at SABC at the time, out of the commercial side of the stations. You know what I mean? In terms of revenue per listener. Right? So whereas the other stations like Metro FM, right, part of the commercials, there's 3 commercial stations at SABC, for those who don't know. It's Goropo FM, it's Metro FM, it's 5FM. So out of all of those, right, the money per listener that they have was highest at 5FM, right? So I knew that that's the station that the brand managers are listening to. If we can get our music, we'll get those brand deals. We'll get the Samsung deal. We'll get the Telkom deal. We'll get whatever these big deals. We'll get the African Bank deal. All these big deals that you've seen hip-hop artists able to get is because their music was being played on stations like 5FM and then eventually 94.7. And unfortunately, 94.7 is Prime Media owned, so it's privately owned. So shooting a cannon with an open letter at 94.7 wasn't going to work. So strategically, it worked best at 5FM. And also because Saudi was disrupting the workings of the SABC at the time. So there was a lot of disruptive energy. You know, that open letter, before it went out onto the timeline, was actually sent to the board of the SABC, the entire board, you know, and I got some responses as in, okay, we've received your letter first before it went public, you know. So that whole entire thing was planned, plotted strategically, and it gave Saudi at least the impetus to then say, even if I forge forward with this 90% rule, because the major labels, the Sonys, the Warners, the Universals, they were completely against it because they main thing is selling international music. You know what I mean? And those are the guys that got Saudified, by the way. If you guys want to know who got Saudified, it was the major labels that got him fired. You know, they've got an influence at the South African National Editors Forum, SANEF, right? And those are part of the people that lobbied to get Saudi removed from that position. So once that letter came out, 5FM needed to prove that they're not racist, so they need to posture. Then on top of that, they had pressure from above when Saudi put in 90%, and then they put in 90% even with the complaints in the media and the newspapers. Then South Africans listened to this 90% music and then started loving South African music, right? Then South African music started growing on these online charts, like YouTube. The consumption of South African music as opposed to international music, it started growing. Then we started having a love for our own music. We started becoming more and more patriotic. That came full circle when Joburg Day was headlined by Scorpion Kings, and you look at that crowd and it's mostly black people. And then it showed that 94.7, if you want this money in this country, your customer is black. You need to put black people first. You need to put black communities first. You know, and I hope the higher ups are getting the message right now. When Tsidi interviewed former President Jacob Zuma, that was the biggest interview that has been on Eyewitness News. Biggest. Their channel has gotten more and more views. when they start reporting on EWN updates now about, police have raided a building that has been hijacked with undocumented people, etc., etc., those are getting more views. So the audience is pulling EWN towards itself. It's saying, what matters to us is what you need to start reporting on, instead of trying to brainwash us with what you think that we should know. So it's happening. The audience is capturing all these media platforms, and the audience is now capturing the radio platforms that were previously against black music, or previously under-servicing the black artists by playing them less than their international counterparts and their white counterparts in South Africa. So that was an important moment. But I've got one big criticism. You've got Joburg Day. The amount of black artists that have never had that stage, like the list is endless. There's you guys are Scorpion Kings. If you look at Uncle Waffles at Glastonbury festivals, is a girl from Swaziland going to show you guys production value before you guys invest in yourselves and show us production value? We can't have Kabza there DJing, Pori on the mic, hyping up the crowd like it's just an ordinary Saturday night out. We need to see proper production value. We need to see an investment in the performance. So now that you guys, producers must rise, Anish. That's what you guys were calling for. Hey, producers must rise. Hey, producers, we're not being seen. We're not being seen. You're now being seen. Now that you're being seen, show us that you deserve the stage. Put production value. Like Uncle Waffles' shows. Every time I see Uncle Waffles on stage and her performances, I mean, I actually went to Brooklyn Mirage when she did her first show there.
She's killing it, bro.
Now she did the bigger
I was
venue.
with the Revolt World last year.
You saw.
Bro,
you
she's
saw.
killing it, bro.
You saw Missy Elliott came running. Missy Elliott came running.
My
came
man,
running.
my
Missy
man.
Elliott, the legend.
I'm crazy for Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is crazy for Uncle
Kanti,
Waffles.
yes. When are you busy
like,
trying to take a Missy Elliott
my
selfie?
man.
Missy Elliott, I'm trying to get an Uncle Waffles son.
Joe, Uncle
Selfie.
Waffles is happy to be with me. I'm happy to I'm like, yo.
Do you understand?
She's kill overseas, bro.
Now
her production value.
I went
bro.
to the 3,000 capacity show, which she sold out at Brooklyn Mirage, right? And she had Tyler as
and
as
shout
a
out
surprise
to
act.
Black Coffee opened the doors, but Euphonic also killed Brooklyn Mirage the year before.
Yeah.
Uncle Waffles did.
Yeah. No. Let me. I need to
You
stop
obviously
you right
can't
there.
compare because
No, I'm not comparing. No.
Music.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not comparing. I need to educate you, Dasbuda, about what Uncle Waffles is doing.
Yeah.
I go to Brooklyn Mirage. I've been there many times. I've seen many shows there. That's a white venue.
Yeah, I know that.
Uncle Waffles filled it with black people. She changed the crowd that comes there.
Yeah, because the year before Euphonic, it was multiracial. Yeah, more white.
What I'm trying to say is that all the other DJs that we've had that have played there, they played to the Mirage audience.
Yeah, they are normal audience. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Waffles brought in an entire new audience. And Brooklyn Mirage are the same people that organized the Madison Square Garden show with coffee. So that's why on our tags, I told you, when you came to New York, I told you that our tags had the Black Coffee Show thing on it. So now she did the 8,000 capacity side, which is the bigger side as well. Filled that up as well. And she brought more black people into Mirage. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Creative Corner. You guys are killing it.
You know?
Shout out to the management. Proud of you.
Yeah. Kai and shout out to Kai.
You guys.
And Zeus.
You guys are out of here.
Sorry, I was trying to think of the name, but I want to get back to what they're doing in terms of the production value. Just look at the production value on her shows. You know what I mean? Just look at that. Without the highest level of DJing skill, she's grown into it, and her skill has improved as a DJ. But the production value has always been top notch. I need to see that from our top DJs and producers that are locally based as well. I need to see that. I need to see Scorpion Kings show me a movie at Joburg Day. It's not big enough that they're just at Joburg Day. There's lots of sacrifices that went into making sure that black artists are able to grace that stage. You know what I mean? Like before Joburg Day, the only black artist was AKA and the other guys on Mikasa. You know, Dr. Duda and Moti. You know, that was it. Now, there's lots of black artists that are there. They need to put on a show. They need to put on something that is groundbreaking. You know what I mean? And we need to see that because they're the leaders. They're the Grootmans. You know what I mean? Pori is the father of this thing. He is the papa. You know what I mean? He is the papa. We need to respect him as the Grootman. And he also needs to do Grootman moves. So when it comes to the production value, it's Grootman moves. I went to Magubenjalo when they reopened as well. Have you been to Magubenjalo?
No, I haven't.
Sekaslam.
No, I haven't.
Keep Kloof Zone 2. Okay. Well, yeah. Sekaslam.
I'm going to go there. Before the end of this year, I'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was there, you know, like I didn't. I'm serious. There was a little pity AK18. The security guard okay, Nina. So I found myself at a table somewhere, you know, just chilling there.
Oh, you sometimes do that.
Yeah, I mean,
once in a while I go to a gig alone, because I know highly likely I'm going to find people that I know.
Yeah.
Once I'm in, I know I'm going to blend in somewhere.
Yeah.
As people I'm going to chill with.
Yeah, no, ngivelenga's fihle khoneni.
Yeah.
Bengizichafile. I didn't want it to be a thing. Ngizichafile khoneni, clean, sharp. Nicely enjoying myself. How stugutungu nangupori. How? Mangele. Pori at Magubenjalo, I know for damn sure they can't afford what Pori should be charging. I know for damn sure. You know? And that's the thing that I'm talking about, is like, because our production value has been so lowered, right? Pori is keeping venues like Magubenjalo alive, you know, but at his own expense. But also now, it's not only at his own expense, it's at the expense of the game. Because the newer kids are the ones that are supposed to be taking up these residencies at places like Magubenjalo. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be flying the flag in bigger stages,
overseas,
in bigger platforms, overseas.
Which he does.
He doesn't,
but not as often as
he should be staying there. We should hear that Upori was overseas for 8 months as Mbonang. When we see him, it's because we're paying 400 rand a ticket to go see him at a big venue. And there's 10,000 of us there. And he's going back home with no less than 4 million rand. Right? That's what we should be having for Pori. That's the level. Right? And until he does that, he's not going to get the type of respect that he needs.
And he doesn't have to do lives and remind us how great he is.
He doesn't.
Because he's already great. Like,
when have you ever seen Zonke on live?
To see him emotional, and I even saw tears in his eyes on his live, and I'm like, a lot of the things that he's saying, this guy is so true. People don't understand his greatness. He's 100% so great
is true.
that sometimes we don't appreciate our own.
But when have you ever seen
until
Zonke on live,
bro? No, I've never.
Uzonke, ngibona trend the other day. Why? Because Drew Hill sabotaged her sound. Okay, her sound wasn't as good as Drew Hill. I didn't even know that Drew Hill had a show. But because Zonke's fans went to go see Zonke, not really Drew Hill, they were mad that the sound was not as good for Zonke as it was for Drew Hill, because she's built her brand to that thing magic. You know what she did after that? She posted a tweet of her next show. Just one tweet. People are buying tickets. There's no ticket that's less than 350 for Zonke's show. I
know. On Tribute to Woman show at the end of August. Was a Radio 2000 sponsored show. Mafikizo was also performing there. Zonke, bro. When Zonke goes on stage, like, people leave whatever people even leave the bars, my man. Whatever, if they were buying drinks, they leave everything. They just Zonke, bro.
You know what I mean? I've been to a Zonke show. I took someone out to a Zonke show, front row seats. Whoever that was that I took front row seat, they know they're special. So
yeah, because you don't judge. Zonke, front row.
So anyway,
so my sister, you should know, assuming it's a sister.
Yeah, obviously it's a sister, so she knows. And shout out, I got those tickets from Refilo Ramachas.
I once took let me tell you a story, a quick one. I once took somebody to a John Legend show, without having had invites, no VIP tickets, nothing.
Yeah.
But I told the date.
Yeah. No, we're going to John Legend.
But we're like front row, like right there. Anyway, continue.
No, sometimes you have to use that privilege. You
so
know
I know
what I mean?
What you mean. Yeah.
So I've been to a Drew Hill show as well, but that one I can't talk about. but just know that when Cisco threw that thing, I caught it. If you know that part of the show, guys. So Zonke is doing her show, and I was having this conversation with Mahu. You know, I had a lunch with her just to talk about business and stuff like that, or like what I've been seeing about her career. And I was saying to her, my sister, you need to be on that Zonke level. Zonke doesn't get out of bed for less than 150K or 200K or 250K or whatever. She doesn't get out of bed for less than that. You cannot be accepting 20,000 per show now. You need to work on making sure that your brand, right, is making people buy tickets to come and see you. You can't just be popping up on stage, goopy, just because you're on the lineup at a venue where people are there either way, Monday to Sunday or Sunday to Sunday. You know what I mean? Magube Njalo is a place where people are there each and every single other day. You know what I mean? I didn't even know Pori was on the lineup. You know, so I was shocked, surprised, okay, happy a bit, but in the end, I'm like, you know what? I love Pori too much for me to be excited about this. I respect him and appreciate him too much. He's making too much of a sacrifice. And unfortunately, he needs to cut us off because we do not deserve his presence at such a dirt cheap rate. He needs to. You know what I mean? I know that he does it because he loves the culture. He wants to move the culture forward, and he knows how important it is that he's there and he's present and how much it elevates the actual event and the occasion that it is on Mogodu Mondays at Magube Njalo. But
do you know that you made us feel like that when you're away, when you're in New York for a year? Like there was just that yearning of NOTA. Like NOTA's in New York and whatever.
I did that on purpose.
Like
I did that on purpose.
Why does that happen with South Africans where they're so great and so dope sometimes that we don't recognize that greatness, that it takes them some time to leave us?
But that's what you need to do.
For a year or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yes.
For us to even start appreciating them when they're being appreciated outside of our country.
I just feel like it happens in your own home. Your cousins don't appreciate you as much as strangers will appreciate you, you know. Your siblings won't appreciate you because they see you at your lowest. They see the worst of you. Yes, they also experience the best of you, but they see the worst of you, whereas everybody else sees the best of you only, you know. And that's absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I did that deliberately, but I didn't do it deliberately, intentionally, just for myself. I did it deliberately because I wanted to motivate the people that watch me, that are in the industry.
Did you feel that it was doing that?
Yeah, I knew that it was doing that. I did it deliberately because I knew
tell,
that it was doing that. No, I knew.
Before you continue, sorry to disturb. Are you still gonna do it again?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna leave us again?
Yeah, obviously.
Or are you gonna leave us permanently?
Not permanently.
Or are there times where you feel, I mean, never permanently. I love South Africa so much. But there are times where you feel like, you know what, I need to leave these guys for quite some time for them to appreciate me more.
Yes. There is that yearning need. You know what I mean? It's just a balance, though, that I have to be able to strike. Is that there's many things that I feel like I need to be able to influence while I'm here, you know, and I feel like there are not many people that are willing to take the risks that I'm able to take. And maybe it's not about a willingness. It's maybe I've got a safety net that some people don't have, you know. I got both my parents that brought me here. And I'll need you to Uber me.
And big up to that, by the way, bro. I'm so proud of you. You're telling me on your way here that you spent your morning with both of your folks.
Yeah, with both of my folks.
And I was telling you that from time to time, whenever I get a chance, I tell people to reconcile with their parents if they've got problems or differences.
Yeah.
Because you'll find yourself as a 45, now I just turned 46-year-old grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Where you yearn for your father. Like, luckily, God is still great. I still have my mother alive. But if you still have both of your parents, guys, cherish them. Because some of us don't have those privileges and expense anymore to just call up my father. They're no longer around and they're never coming back. So whatever problems you have or differences with your parents, just try and reconcile and enjoy each and every moment you can with your folks. So I'm so proud of you, bro. Like, you were just telling me how you spend this one, you were watching them arguing and you just being with both of your folks. That's such a blessing, bro.
No, I wasn't even supposed to be with my mom today. So, like, I called my dad because I was like, I have to go to town. We had a meeting with our family lawyers, right? Me and my dad. So he's like, okay, yeah, it's fine. I'll pick you up. Cool. And then he went home first. And then my mother asked, niyapi? Angangamboni umntana mai ngihamba nani. So my mom decided, okay, no. I haven't seen my child since I went to London. So it was my sister's graduation last week. So my mother and my sister.
Oh, nice. Congratulations to the sis. Yeah.
She graduated in 2020. But
okay.
because of lockdown, they didn't hold the ceremony. This is for a PhD.
It's that post that you posted.
Yeah, yes. So
well, I thought it was recent.
Yeah, no. It was just the ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah, she got a PhD 4 years ago.
Okay.
So they finally had the graduation ceremony now this week, and then also that same weekend I was helping Mandla N put together a screening for Piano Love in London.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was able to do that by remote control, luckily by magic. Thankfully, I've got some people that I can trust that can put things together, in the blink of an eye. So they were in London doing their thing, My mother also tagged along to see me. She hasn't seen me for quite a while. So I was with her today. And there was a point where she's like, no, drive, Amtanam. And so she gets out of the car, and then me and my dad are swapping so that she can drive. And she's like, how? You're not going to give me a hug? Pella, I haven't even hugged you or said hi to you properly. Yeah, I gave her a hug, She missed me. And then I just noticed that, shine and you fresh. I won't lie, at least make it fast. I was looking at my mother's sneakers. I'm thinking, I live fresh lady. I only love her own lie. Whether it's her kick game, her dress game, her stwaldo game. And I'm like, she just finished punishing my sister there in London. I saw my sister in her graduation clothes, and I was like, Mari Oled Nalo, why did she have to come on with the full fur trench coat, the silk scarf? I was like, Mari Oled love you.
Let's go.
You Oled love. I know Chelasta. I know Chelasta. I was looking at my sister's picture. I was like, at least like Tunisa, like do something. Like, no, man. Like, you can't be going to your graduation and your mother is dressed better than you at your own graduation. Like, come on. So speaking about that, so now, like, while we're driving in the car, she's talking to her friends over the phone, and she's like, accept clean at yours. Hey, hayi bese sebahleli ngathi bebazi ukuthi ngiphume London ngoba hey bese ngifuna emigrate manje ngithi hayi no sengizomuvela eLondon.
You were telling me earlier that Joburg is looking clean.
That's what I noticed when my mother was talking to a friend. I'm like, how? What has happened? You know what I mean? I went past Bears No Deer Square. It looked kind of clean, you know what I mean? But it is a Saturday morning. But I mean, Bears No Deer Square, and like what's happening to Bears No Deer Square? Guys, that library needs to open up.
Yeah.
A lot of my education happened at the archive room.
Yeah, that library. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the kids that I see when I drive past Bears No Deer Square on the weekdays that are just playing soccer outside, that, okay, it's fine, they're entertaining themselves, but they should be getting knowledge inside there. You know what I mean? They should be getting knowledge inside there. That library needs to open back up. So as our city is being revived, or there seems to be an energy towards reviving our cities, the cities are competing because Durban was cleaning up last month. Now this month, Josie is trying to clean up. I think Tshwane, Pretoria is going to clean up soon once they figured out who their mayor is in the next couple of weeks, whether the current mayor is staying or they're going to find a new mayor, As we are seeing that energy reviving, we need to also now explore the rest of the world with what we have got right, which is our music and our culture. We need to communicate that. And over the past couple of months, I mean, patriotism has been the number one trending topic, for a number of reasons. And I saw Minister Gaten McKenzie saying that he's promoting Amapiano in Russia. And like some people might criticize that and say, there's so many other things that one thing that we've got that is our highest selling product, move that first. We'll get to the other products once we've got the customer in. You know what I mean? It's sales. Like any salesman knows, okay, the product that the people want, you start with that one first. Then you move them. Then you build that relationship. Then you can upsell from there. Once they know that South Africa has got more and more to offer. Then you saw Tyler do her acceptance speech.
Yeah.
And she corrected her miscategorization. Woo.
In a classy way, though. No, she did it well, though.
Woo-wee.
She did it in a classy way.
Amazing way. It's bittersweet.
She also did not talk down on Afrobeat.
No, she celebrated them.
She celebrated
and she said,
it,
thank you for
but
opening
then
the doors for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, she celebrated it, but she forgot Davido. But I mean, she said so many names, but he wasn't nominated.
But I like the fact that she emphasized that there's more African music genres than just Afrobeats.
You know, and right now, also another thing that we're contending with is our national identity. What makes you a South African? You know, so she exemplifies what makes one a South African. You know what I mean? Ooh, you're on the stage. You know,
yeah.
You know,
she keeps the accent on point, doesn't lose the accent. And I like the fact that whoever's training, whoever's behind, whoever's mentoring, a big up to them.
Yeah.
Even when
Sylvia Rowan
Asha is coming to try and gyrate, she also, I know, you know, like.
Well, no. Hold on. I'll give him some credit because if you watch the video, he actually pointed her to the side and said, "Let me dance with your big sister."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he wanted to dance with the big sister.
but I also just like the way she's moving.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she curved
Yeah.
Sinati.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she curved.
No, she did it.
But I just like
gracefully.
how she moves.
Yeah.
Nabo
The
Drake,
moves.
Nabo Chris Brown,
Everything.
Nabo Asha, Nabo.
That's
she's
Sylvia
not just some
Rowan.
South African girl who's starstruck. To go, yo, I know, sing lang chabli lugubala. No.
That's Sylvia Rowan. That's one of the most influential people, black women in the music industry, period. You understand? A very underrated music executive, Sylvia Rowan. You know what I mean? That's who put her on, you know. And thankfully, you know, I had the pleasure of bum rushing Sylvia Rowan a long time ago, and I was telling her about South Africa.
Who's Sylvia Rowan?
Sylvia Rowan is the head of Epic,
Oh.
where Tyler signed.
From the US, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I met Sylvia Rowan.
But she's a great student, eh?
You
can tell that she's media trained. You can tell that she's being mentored well, but you can also see the mentorship or the wisdom that they impart in her actions. You're like, no, this kid is that there's a reason why she's become who she's become.
Yeah.
She's a great student.
Yeah, no, she is a great student. So I was saying, I met Sylvia Rowan when I was accompanying Shoma Josie to the BET Awards, you know. And I told Sylvia Rowan when I met her, well, before I could officially meet her, she was on the red carpet. So I'm like, eish, damn it, who do I know that knows Sylvia Rowan? I call Refilo Ramukhas. Refilo used to go to school with my sister at UCT, and also Refilo's from Deep Kloof. So, you know, even my cousin's best friend is the mother of his children. You know, Papam. So, so I go way back. So if you see me name dropping Refilo and you're wondering, Refilo, we it's like we're practically family.
Shout out to Mr. RR, Refilo Ramukhas.
You know,
all love, bro. You know
what I mean?
all love. From the days of analog nights.
You understand?
Rest in peace to our brother Wandile.
Yes,
sure,
exactly.
Culture,
you know what I mean? That's another frontman that's
yeah.
mentored me. And, you know, so Urifile, yeah. So, unfortunately, you know,
Rolls Royce.
You know,
Refilo Ramukhas, the king.
And they've known me since I was a baby. It's unfair, guys. I'm sorry.
You know
what I mean? So yeah, he calls me. He calls me back because now we're in LA at the Beverly Hilton. So he calls me back because it was late at night. He's like, "Hey, what's the emergency? Why are you calling me so late?" I'm like, "Hey, yo, Grootman, yeah, Sylvia Rowan is right in front of me." He's like, "Okay, take a deep breath, calm down. Okay, just walk up to her and introduce yourself, right? And then tell her you're a colleague and tell her that Refilio sends his regards, okay?" I dropped the phone. I did exactly what he said, clean, opened up a conversation, and then I told her that, yo, Shoma Josie's nominated at the BETs, and tomorrow she's going to win that award, right? And she's like, oh, no, interesting. So she introduced me to her A&R guy, Zeke, you know, exchange numbers, etc., etc. And as Sylvia Rowan is walking in to the BET Awards, right, the next day at the Xbox Theater or the Microsoft Arena at the Staples Center, that's when they announced the award that Shoma Josie won, which is the same award that I think who won it? Was it MacG or someone won it this on the red carpet?
MacG,
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice because Shoma Josie introduced me to MacG's music before anyone knew her. So
Is it?
It's so funny that they both won that award. You know what I mean? That's
I
generational
last
stuff.
saw the last time I was with Shoma Josie was in Tanzania. We're in Tanzania.
Hmm.
Shout out to Shoma Josie. Love you, my sister. Love and
Yeah,
blessings. I
she
haven't
also
seen her
did
in
a
while.
new TV show with a Big Zulu that's on SABC One. You haven't seen that?
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Use your SABC Plus app. You can watch it on the go.
I'll check it out.
So then she won that award and she jumped up and down. Whatever. Cardi B was there also on the red carpet at that same time. I cleaned our silver and then said, "Yo, where's that a young handsome man that we met yesterday? Please get in contact with him. We might want to sign this girl." And then I guess the rest is history. They signed a deal with Shoma Josie and the record label that she was with at the time. And then they also signed a deal with her because she left that record label like separately. And then that record label was then given the task to find a new artist. And guess who they found? Tyler.
Shout out to Cool Drink, who was there from the early days. Remember Cool Drink?
I know him very well. Yeah, he was with.
There's a track called "Is It Getting Late?" It's
Getting Late,
or
yes.
something. Cool Drink produced it.
Yes. And he's been touring the world as well. He's gone
Zimbabwean
overseas.
boy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cool
So
Drink.
he's doing his thing in his own right. He's growing in his own musical direction as well. She's doing amazing things. She's flying the flag. That is Tyler. She's flying the flag very high, and even despite her not being abreast of the current sentiment or the sentiments that all South Africans share, you know what I mean? She represents us well, like all the time. You know what I mean? She flies the flag. So if she makes one mistake, she can be forgiven for the 50,000 other great things that she's been doing for our country and its people. And another thing that she also does is that in her interview, she's like, "Yo, this Amapiano movement, there's a lot of kids in South Africa that have had their livelihoods changed by this. And I want to make sure that my superstardom helps shine or reflect the spotlight on them. And my home and where I come from. I represent South Africa. I represent Amapiano." I liked how she said Amapiano. I like how she said it. But you know what I mean? So, man, that was good to see her winning. And, I mean, Taylor Swift won 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 15,000 VMAs that night. But the number one trending topic was Tyler.
Which is beautiful.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
She's still trending even now.
There's 4 different controversies and conversations that she sparked, you know what I mean? And she's taking that in her stride, with demure or demure. How did she said it? She said demure, but she said it in such a weird way, and I was like, "Yo,
there's now a new one. I'm looking out for the new merchandise. Who's gonna do it first? The t-shirts that are written "Uppity African."
Uppity African.
Uppity African is trending even now.
Yeah, it's trending everywhere. Entitled
all over the world.
You know what I mean? So there's a whole lot of conversations that are being had
They're
around
not
her.
used to this type of African. Now they learn.
No, they saw it with Burna Boy. And Burna is a boy, so they're not used to this type of African being a woman.
And when I say this type of African, I'm not just specifically speaking about Tyler. I'm talking about all of them, including Burna Boy.
Yeah, but I'm a
Tyler.
confident
Times have
African.
changed, yeah.
That
they're
is
not used to this type of African.
Yeah, they're used to calling us African booty scratchers.
Yep.
We watched Boys in the Hood.
Times have changed,
and they never thought that movie would offend us, even
if they want to call us uppity Africans. That's
you know
still
what I
fine.
mean? Yeah, but
times have changed. We're here.
They're uprooted Africans.
You're gonna learn.
They're uprooted Africans.
Yeah.
They're also Africans. So we must forgive them for their ignorance. You know what I mean? Because they don't have their roots buried.
No, I'm talking about the world.
But I'm just talking about the Americans that are giving a flag.
I'm not talking about African Americans. I'm talking about the globe.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Especially the American audience. It doesn't matter the race.
Yeah.
They're not used to this type of African, and I love what's going on. I love what Afrobeat's doing, what Amapiano is doing. I just love the new culture. It's just what our young people are doing.
Yeah.
for us.
But
in
if
the
you take
world.
it from the Twitter perspective, you'll think that, Twitter, because it's a trolling platform. So it's a place where you troll, you know what I mean? So sometimes people don't get the meaning of it. So I know that there's a lot of Americans that watch this and a lot of African Americans that watch this content. And, they should know themselves that us as Africans who know what has happened to African Americans in history, we're not trying to steal anything that they're entitled to or take anything from them. You know what I mean? We're inspired by their resilience, especially throughout what they've endured. They've inspired our liberation as well. I mean, we were able to fight colonialism because of the fights that were started by people in the United States, overcoming slavery, overcoming Jim Crow. I mean, the decolonization project really coincided with the civil rights movement in the States. 1957 or 1958 is when our first African country gets liberated from the colonizer, and I think 1964 is when the Civil Rights Act, or 1965 is when the Civil Rights Act comes into being, and then preceding the Civil Rights Act coming into being, there's a whole lot more freedom of speech that is afforded to African American activists. And the first thing that those African American activists said is that none of us is free until we are all free. And we want to free our brothers and sisters back in Africa. And those were the ones that were fighting for the freedom of our liberation stalwarts as well. Those were the ones that were funding our struggle, even though they were sitting in the belly of the beast in the empire. And as we see the empire now, because the American empire is ring. I don't know if you watched the debate.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. But before we get into the debate, I just wanted to say that, and I see it continues. There's just this thing that continues to want to divide all of us, and not only in the continent, us as Africans, but there's just this thing that continues to want to divide African Americans from us, the Africans. And I don't know where this thing comes from. And I know back in the day it's always been there. But even now you can still feel there's just many voices or energies that are trying to divide us, as if Africans hate African Americans. And they don't understand how much we love African Americans.
We love each other.
How much we love each other.
Yeah.
How much we follow African American movies, music,
that's what I'm
hip-hop,
saying now.
all of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying
we
now.
are all one, right?
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
there's just this energy that continues to try and continue to divide us.
Look, I mean, we are diverse. We should not ever want or aspire to become a monolith. You know what I mean? Like, okay, all black people are one, people are all the same. We need to appreciate each other's diversity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even us as South Africans, we need to show these people an example. When are you a mix, right? So you're not fully one culture, right? I'm also a mix. So I know how it is. Like when I'm with my Xhosa side of the family, we tell jokes about Tsonga people and Venda people and stuff like that. When I'm with my Tsonga side of the family, we tell jokes about Venda people or whatever. But we never, it's never nothing more than joking. You know what I mean? Siyakwarana. It's all in good faith. So we need to bring it back to that level. Singakwarana. But let's never make it a deep-seated hatred of one another. So that if anyone from outside of us ever thinks that we're divided when they're watching us squarana, as soon as they strike one of us, they see all of us stand together and say, hey, you understand?
And always be on code.
We're always on code. So they can observe us having these little spats, yes, these diaspora wars, yes, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But us, all Africans, African Americans, Caribbean Americans, South American Africans,
Haitians, Jamaicans,
all of
everyone,
us, we need to ensure that amongst each other,
we stay on code.
We know who the enemy is and who the enemy
we always stay on code.
You know what I mean? That's it. That's what we should always stay on code with that. So with that said, I was watching the debate and I was just shocked that with all the race baiting that's been going on, when they brought up the whole entire thing about is Kamala Harris black or is she Indian, she could not bring it to herself to say, just say it, I am black. You understand what I'm saying? She's still diverting or flirting with the whole entire thing, ridiculing Trump and whatever. But when it came to her identifying as a South Indian, She said it, in the affirmative. I'm a South Indian. You know what I mean? There's no video that we have on record, and all the videos are coming out now of all the historical things that she said, or whether she's flip-flopped or anything else. We've seen the videos of her saying, I'm a South Indian. I was raised by a South Indian mother. You know what I mean? And whether it's the relationship between her and her Jamaican father, who separated from her mother while they were still at a young age, whether that relationship strained on her and made her identify more with her mother than with her father's side of the family, that is besides the point. You know what I mean? When you are now trying to elevate yourself to the position of the leader of the so-called free world, right? And you also have some valid objections coming from the foundationally black Americans, or the Africans, African descendant of slaves, the ADOS. You know what I mean?
ADOS and the FBAs, the
Yeah.
foundational black
None of them
Americans,
have ever had a nominee or a candidate stand up for president. So there is no president.
So Obama wasn't, right?
He's Kenyan.
Oh, yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So can you see all of these things, these little smaller things, right, that are happening to the African American community that is there originally, that has slave descendants and everything else, and then they see this girl, this South African uppity African Tyler girl, and she's so confident, right? Going back to that conversation that we're having about people wishing death upon people because of the environment, it's because of that. They're not feeling represented, they're not feeling heard, and they're feeling as if they're being made a fool out of, because you can take any person that's got a drop of black in them from anywhere else in the world that is not associated with our struggle, that didn't have grandparents that endured what our grandparents endured, and they're the ones that are elevated over and above us and are supposed to be representing us, but they don't come from us. And those debates we need to be able to have openly and honestly as black people as a whole. You know what I mean? Are we overlooking the valid cries of our African American brothers and sisters? Because at a point in time where they were in their ascendancy, right, when they were getting their rights granted to them and everything else, right, they used that privilege to liberate us. Now we are seeing them getting overlooked in positions of power and positions of leadership in a country that they built with their own blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? And we are sitting silently on the sidelines. We're supporting the people that are being used to brainwash them and turn them against each other. We're supporting our own destruction as a people. Those are the things that we also need to be able to look out for, because I cannot be upset. And I said this to you when we were in the United States. So if you go back to that episode, I was speaking about this very same thing. I was like, when I see my African American brothers here, I'm here to help them, because I see that a whole lot of Africans, many of the Africans that end up going into the Western countries are either privileged from home, you know what I mean, or they're privileged in terms of the type of work that they get, and they earn really high salaries, etc., and they're in better positions than the average African American. You know what I mean? The African immigrant is in a better position than the African American is. You know, the Indian Americans are the highest earning. You know, Asian women in America earn higher than African American women. All of those sorts of things, you know, they're being overlooked. So when we see them show signs of some form of Afrophobia or xenophobia, whatever you want to call it, right? We need to not just strike them and condemn them. Let's hear them out and hear where it comes from. And just by that act of just, you know what, let me listen to you. Let me listen to your concern. We are then showing them that their concerns are valid. You know, and that frustration that they have, maybe it ends right there. Maybe that frustration is that no one has ever listened to me. I've been screaming at the top of my lungs. No one even turns. They always dismiss me. They always condemn me and everything else. You are the first person that actually listened to me. And then you humanize those people, because now what they're saying matters. Their lives matter. You know what I mean? So we need to have that empathy as well for them. The same empathy that we need to have for ourselves, for our own countrymen that are going through a lot right now, you know what I mean, whose trolleys are very empty, you know, that's the same empathy that we need to have. That's the same empathy that we have in traffic. When a taxi is passing you in traffic, you never get mad. You actually, taxi say, Chief Dad. Masbuni taxi is up. Even if he's on the yellow lane or what, say Chief Taylor, we don't step in front of the taxi and block him and whatever. Why? Because we know that the people that are inside the taxi, if they're late, they're fired, and they're at the bottom of the earning scale. Do you understand what I'm saying? We know that. We are privileged in our cars, and we get 3 warnings, and you get CCMA to stand up for us. Those people that are inside that taxi, if they're late, there's no CCMA to stand up for them. You know, their work is probably not even registered. There's no UIF that's being paid. I mean, we're just finding out now that the security companies haven't been paying their pension contributions for over 20 years. How many people's parents are security guards? How many people are at Wits University right now, UJ right now, UWC right now, TUT right now? How many people are there and their parents are security guards? And those parents have to sacrifice a lot to ensure that their kids are able to go through school and everything else. And after all that sacrifice, when they reach an age of maturity, they don't even have a pension. Now they're dependent on their children. Their children now become their pension. And then what does that do? When the children are when the parents are dependent on the children, they become a burden instead of a blessing. And then you don't wish your parents were around for as long. You know, I'm happy to have my parents around. I want them around for long, but because they don't burden me. You know what I mean? I was telling you today, earlier, that my dad just completed his chemo treatment. Almost R1 million that was spent on his chemo treatment. 700,000 so far and counting. You know, because there's also therapy that now needs to be gone into post-chemo. You now need to have therapy, this family therapy that we're undergoing to deal with this whole entire thing. You know, he had the best treatment, even when they took out the cells. He had the best treatment that could be afforded. I mean, he did his chemo at Morningside Oncology. You know, he rang the bell in April. So he's cancer-free. He's been free for a long time.
He's cancer-free now?
Yeah. He rang the... when you're cancer-free, you ring the bell.
Oh, you ring the bell.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a video I posted of my dad ringing a bell.
Nice.
Yes, that was the video to say, yo. So, okay, so people who can't relate to that, you haven't had someone who's gone through cancer, because a lot of us lose our family members through cancer.
That's how former Minister Pravin Gordan died. Cancer,
yes,
right?
Yes. So he never got to ring the bell.
Cancer's bad.
He never got to ring the bell. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the thing. I'm happy. I'm one of the lucky ones. My dad got to ring the bell, you know. So as we're looking at what's happening in the condition of our country and in the condition of our people, we need to appreciate the fact that, you know, we depend on each other as a civilization, as humanity, as a society. And those of us who are able to take our heads out of the rat race, you know, and look up, you know what I mean? I count myself as one of those. I'm fortunate enough to be able to look at, it's our job to now relate that to everyone else who's unable to see that because they're so busy. Because they do, even in their business, take the time to watch the content that we put out, to watch the video, to like, to comment, you know what I mean? So these opportunities that we have when we are sitting together, we have opportunities to shed light on things that people will not get anywhere else. You know what I mean? Perspectives that they don't manage to get. You are back in the rat race right now. You know what I mean? So I don't expect you to have the time. You have to wake up at 4 exen. Melufike spanning 5. You know what I mean? So you understand what it is. You do the same thing that Umamotengi Samakwenya does. You know what I mean? Vuang 4, busy wholesome, Samakwenya. Yatova lapaya. You know what I mean? By the time shower 5:30, Masegrengwa. She's already there with a full bucket of amakwenya. You know what I mean? And then 20 years later, Mtana Kesega graduator, gupi, gets a nice top job, sits in traffic, has to now move out the way because they know that Umamam was probably taking a taxi to go to work. And now there's new mothers that are taking their kids to work. And for them to be able to continue in that work and have the same opportunity as my mother, who is able to go to a graduation event, Yomdanak, I need to make way. You know, the more we make way for one another, when we show that Ubuntu for one another, you know, the more wholesome we will become internally.
He's a bright man. He's totally incredible, awesome brother. I missed him. It's so great to have you back, Nota.
Thank you.
Looking forward to recording more episodes. Hopefully we'll be recording a whole lot more before the end of this year.
Yeah.
It's summer now. People are outside. There's a lot to talk about. So looking forward to seeing you soon. We'll see you guys on the
Tina
next
shy
video.
short.
Let's wrap it up. Your last words to the people.
Yeah, my last words for today. It's not my last words.
I will see you again next week. Come on.
Yeah.
You owe us a lot of episodes. We missed you.
I owe you guys
And
a lot.
as NOTA has said, Nangeko was last corner.
Yeah, no.
We need NOTA back.
Yeah.
We miss the energy, man.
No,
but to tell you the truth, guys, I miss that companionship. Like, I don't like always interviewing strangers. I want to and some of them, yes, it's South Africans that we look up to. But like sometimes it's just nice to have a brother that you sort of, that's why it was dope to always have Penuel, always have NOTA, always have. So the fact that NOTA is back in the country.
Penuel.
That's dope.
I just shot 2. I'm back on the Penuel show.
Dope.
You understand?
You're back on the Hustlers Corner.
I'm still convincing with Penuel. Like, with Penuel, please speak to your publishing friends.
Yeah.
Because I've been telling you, Penuel, I need someone to write me a biography.
Yeah.
And I want it to be you.
You guys need to write the book together. You're busy with that. And I know you had a fallout, but I'm glad you guys have fixed it.
No, we had a debate.
Yeah.
It was a debate.
Yeah.
You understand? He needed to go into his corner and see my perspective from his own perspective, so that Masbuyela together, we sit together now, and I needed to sit in my corner. But you know what's the funniest thing? Throughout that whole entire time, mina no Penson, we share jokes, we share me.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about brothers. At least Mama Kwatelo one, at least Lo Munya is still there to say hi. No, Sisonke. So that you don't stray too fast and Kwatelene, so to the point where like Ansakulmisani at any point in time. And that's what we need to do to keep it together. And so I'm very thankful for the fact that actually I've recorded 3 episodes with Penuel.
Dope.
Yeah, we've recorded 3. I don't know if I should be saying that.
We're all family. No, we have to. We're all family. We're
okay,
family.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to an episode where both them Locha brothers are back. Sisonke.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's you, it's me, it's Penson, it's Penuel, it's how it all started. Yeah.
We need to do that on a campus near you.
Because our family tree has grown now.
Yeah.
If you look at all these kids that are now on YouTube, everyone that's podcasting, everyone, we were the pioneers. Like all of us now, but MacG, just our crew.
Yeah.
Penuel, you, us, MacG. Because Nabunkululeko and culture, it was just a few of us. But now it's just blown up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you look at what MacG has been able to do as well, like he's gotten a lot of good shows. And like, what I like about MacG, right, is that he's unafraid of failure.
Yeah.
Uyayithatha show nanomi bheda ilahlele ku channel yakhe abone ukuthi okay ngithini bafethu.
Yeah.
Okay yabheda, okay sharp ithi ngizame enye ke, okay naye enye.
Yeah.
Nithi ngale. Ole sharp. Okay no clean izobloma le. Okay ithi ngizame enye ke nayi le. Okay nithini? Ayabheda. Bafethu ithi sigayi isikhathi.
But what I love is that he continues to empower.
That's
other
it.
People. He always puts people on.
And he's not saying it that he's not saying I'm putting people on or whatever. He's just doing it. You know what I mean? Right? But when it comes to taking flack or whatever, it's always him that takes the flack, and he takes it personally.
Yeah.
So he takes all the bullets for all of those people, for everyone. You know what I mean? Poor Pops and them, Robot Boy is flying his wings too high right now, touring the world, doing his music thing. So he took a sabbatical from PNC, but they've put they've put Farai there.
Yeah.
Farofai, or
That's
is it?
dope.
Yeah. So she's doing an amazing job. I've always liked her sense of humor and her comedic timing as well from, her time at MTV Base as well. So I've seen that she's a dope addition. I just recently recorded an episode with Owami.
Nice. Boldly Owami. That's my sister right there. Love and blessings, Owami.
Yeah.
We miss you. Let's record another one. I miss you. I haven't recorded in a while.
I haven't recorded with Ulungelo in a while.
Yeah.
But Ulungelo recorded an episode on Engineer Your Life, which is blowing up internationally, globally.
It's doing very well. Proud of you. Proud of you, Lungster.
He recorded an episode with Lebu Keswa, who's actually my neighbor. Like, I realized we were neighbors before that episode blew up. So before she did that episode, or before she did that recording, I actually was at her house, just chatting to her, because, she's a soon-to-be divorcee. I've already passed that stage. So now I'm at the stage where I'm giving people advice on how to handle it.
Oh, handle divorce.
I have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've seen people going divorced and then they fall apart.
Eish, bro.
You know what I mean?
Eish, bro.
And
Eish, bro.
for me, like, I'm fortunate because I got to travel. I was saying this to Lebu just the other day. Is like the reason why I'm not bitter or whatever, it's because me, I got to go far away to another country where no one knows me, where no one can say, hey, you are divorcee, hey, when I back Latin, hey, when I back Shile, you know what I mean? So I got to fall in love with myself again and have that period of time, you know what I mean? And also, I wasn't distracted. You know what I mean? I told you, even then, I'd already before then taken a vow of celibacy, so I'm not engaging with any women or anything else of the sort, confusing my mind or seeking validation through relationships or anything of the sort. So I got to, be solid with myself. So even when the worst hit me and I was at my lowest and everything else, I was able to overcome, when I was at my lowest, you know what I mean? I was even feeling suicidal at some point in time or whatever, or just those types of thoughts came into my mind, right? And immediately when I was thinking like that, I remember I called my sister. I'm like, hey, talk to my sister. I'm like, yo, I'm feeling whatever. And now my sister was in a meeting, but she answered the call. You know what I mean? Hi. Now my sister, she's so emotional. So I realized that, okay, I need to be careful with what I tell her. Like I could hear on the phone, like, oh, my brother's trying to kill him, so I need to go.
No,
I'm serious. So she rushed to my side, and she listened to me out. And, when you're going through troubles or dealing with moving on from a relationship that you invested a lot in, sometimes you are the one that wants to fight back and get everything back, and you feel like you cannot lose this, you know what I mean? And she was like, yo, I'm not going to lose my brother to this, you know what I mean? Whatever I need to do to help him get over this, I will do. I will support. I will not say it to him directly, but he will see through my actions that, I was helping you find yourself outside of whatever's happening in your relationship. So my sister was there for me in those times, and other people don't have big sisters who are there, to look after their little brothers the whole entire time, with the empathy and understanding that my sister has, so those are the things that are encouraging and that I am able to now reflect on as I counsel people who are going through this situation, because through me sharing my story, I've gotten a lot of feedback. When I walk into the streets, there's a lot of brothers that are telling me, yo, hey man, I'm going through a divorce or I'm going through a separation, etc. How do you stay strong? How do you, maintain your composure? I see, like, even when people are asking you about it, you're able to smile and all these things, and yeah, I mean, you can admit that are down. You can admit that you've been hurt. You can admit that you feel betrayed, and you know what I mean? But it's not the end of you. And we've lost a lot of brothers, you know what I mean, who've taken their lives because, they've lost their families or etc. So if anything is important to say as my final word for today is that, let's be there for one another as brothers, let's be there for one another. If you're a mother of a boy child, the black boy child right now needs your love more than anything else, let's see one another. Let's see our black brothers. You know what I mean? Let's not see the worst in them. Let's see the best in them, and encourage them and love them. You know what I mean? Even if sometimes that means tough love, but love them. You know what I mean? Love them wholeheartedly, so that you show them that when they are not living up to the expectation or their potential, that you won't allow that. You won't stand for that. So, thank you. For being one of the brothers that, always ensures that I live up to my potential and encouraging me and, breathing life into me, even when I'm feeling low. Thank you for always, just giving me a call randomly. It's as if you've got a sixth sense. Sometimes when I'm in doubt and whatever, Spura will call me and say, I need you. And then I'll be like, oh, I'm needed?
I love you, bro.
Thank you so much.
I missed you, and
so
I love
much.
you, bro.
I love you, bro. Thank
you're
you.
blind.
No, thank you.
So what a song, Utando all the way to the grave.
I know, thank you.
Yeah, you'll be there at my funeral speaking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and
That's what
gentlemen, the GOAT is back. NOTA. Others call him NOTA.
Yeah.
What did they just say? They continue to immortalize him on raps.
Yeah.
Big Zulu. We'll speak about
Yeah.
that on the next episode.
Yeah.
He just immortalized you again. He
Yeah.
continues to. He said what? Nangabangazi what
Ubuhlanya buyabhadala. Ubuhlanya buyabhadala ngabu.
Something like that. But you know,
ngabe dala na NOTA.
till today I've got kids who say to me, I never knew who you were. Yes, you were big then, but I never knew I was in primary school. But when I heard you on WHP's songs, or when I heard you on such and such a
DJ
song,
Spooky Hamza
what
Meke.
has been, you haven't been immortalized up until you're in any one of those songs.
That's a G-Wagon for those that don't know what a hammer.
Yeah, the G-Wagon today.
Yeah, Kari Hamza Meke.
Yeah. So on the 200 bars, Big Zulu, NOTA has just been immortalized. He's on many rap lyrics. But when I heard that, for me, I don't care. I'm like, oh, my GOAT has just been immortalized.
Yeah,
That's
no.
dope.
I think I'm also on the A-Reese one, but I think
The
he
A-Reese
said
album?
something about authority.
On
and I
which
was like,
song?
oh.
Obviously, you know he's talking about you know. Because you remember when I was recording an episode with A-Reese?
Yeah.
I think I just finished an episode
Yeah.
with you. You're walking
Yeah, no,
out,
I met him.
And A-Reese was walking in.
Yeah.
And then I think you guys had your thing. And
No,
then
I was just saying, yo.
A-Reese tweeted and was like, yo, big homie, you were there. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was there. And you guys were cool. And I think, I don't know what happened.
I wasn't not cool. You know, that's the thing
Angizingeni,
about rap.
angizingeni.
No, it's not about ungazingeni, but I'm just saying, like, A-Reese, dog, you need to understand that some of us are big fans.
Yeah.
You understand? We're big fans.
Big, huge fans.
So therefore, we've got big expectations.
I hear
Big expectations.
I hear
Big
you.
expectations. You understand? You need to. We're betting a lot. Some of us bet a lot. Some of us, our reputations are at stake because of you. Sitshela abantu ukuthi, hey, le ntwana le is going to become something. Abanye bethu sithuka abantu ema-radioweni. Radio station compilers that weren't playing you. You know what I mean? Some of us have kicked down doors for you without you knowing, unbeknownst to you. You know what I mean? Some of us have fought people that have been saying bad things about you. He's unprofessional, what, and we pulled them to the side and we said, hey, stop decampaigning this young man like that. You know what I mean? So that's why when we see things that look like missteps and wrong moves, or we see people that look like hangers-on that are trying to use A-Reese to boost themselves, but they're not actually helping him. You know what I mean? They're standing beside him and not behind him. That's where, you know, we take objections, and some people might not be able to say it. And I'm not afraid to be the bad guy.
I know.
I'm the big-hearted bad guy too.
See you guys on the next episode. I missed you, bro. Good to see you. No, da.
Thank you,
Hey, my man, you became so